The Maple Street Penguins Go Climbing. Once there was this family of penguins that lived in Antarctica, and they got tired of living there, so they moved in front of a house on Maple Street in a small town outside of Boston, and hired a couple of local guys to help them build a house. And when it got all done, they invited their friends and relatives and neighbors to come visit. They had quite a time that week, the first week they lived in that house. Everybody came over. Not long after that, they got to watch the Super Bowl game. It was a pretty good game that year. And they had parties and, lots of fun with their neighbors. But like lots of people in New England, they also enjoyed their winter sports, going outside, doing a little skiing, doing a little snowboarding. They were always busy. But the thing they liked the most was to go climbing. But there weren't a lot of big mountains around here, so they just practiced on what they could find and all kinds of conditions. And finally, one day they set off to go find a big mountain that they could climb. The first thing they found wasn't very big. It was kind of small, and they just kept looking for things that might be bigger, and finally they spotted something. It was pretty big. They were pretty excited. They scouted a path and started off on the lower reaches of the mountain, and they came to one steep pass and had to climb up that. That was fun. Then they came to the lower peak, and they got to the top, and then there was a long stretch, boulder-strewn and windy, and they had to stay below the peak as they crossed this treacherous area, and they finally got to a point where they could look at their climb for the next day. So they huddled in for the night, and when they got up in the morning, they had quite a climb. This was the steepest part of the whole mountain. There was no way around it. It was the only way up. And up it went. They did have a little tumble. Luckily, nobody got hurt, so they just started up again. A couple were up ahead. They waited for him, of course, but one did go ahead and get to the top before everybody else. Ralph, back at base camp, got a great shot of the final ascent towards the peak. And once they got there, well, this crew really relished their view. They just loved looking at them all. They couldn't believe how good everything looked from the top of this mountain. It was a great day. Maple Street Penguins.